Thank you. In the interest of getting us, well, not back on schedule, but closer, I'll keep it to 5 minutes or something nearby that. So let's go ahead and go on here, get moving. That clicker's not working. There we go. So one of the things that obviously in the spirit of innovation that you have to have is, number one, an idea. Many of those innovations or those ideas require IT in order to bring them to fruition. We all know that information technology and the hardware that makes it run requires money. One of the things you have to do, especially in government, but in the enterprise as well, is go to boards and things like that in order to get that money. And a lot of times that eats up a lot of time. In the federal government, I know the OMB 300 process and things like that takes a great deal of time in order to actually be able to even start to try to innovate. That amount of time normally, in a lot of cases, unless you're very steadfast, will, basically turn it into the death of innovation. So I'm not going to answer the question to what is cloud computing, because that could take hours and days and things of that nature. But essentially what it comes down to is that in the innovative spirit, the cloud itself actually has many different advances in the technology side of things. Pretty much what it comes down to is that it provides a platform for innovation using all the various things you see on the screen there. It's not only in a technology innovative environment, but it's also within business an ability to innovate. Because you don't have to pay for those large-scale IT systems that I just talked about up front. You can actually pay as you go for that which you use. This is innovative in itself in that you're actually sort of like your utility bill at home. If you use more, you pay more. If you use less, you pay less. The other nice thing about the cloud environment is that there's not contracts, and that actually will allow people to, go ahead and very easily swipe a credit card or put it into the front page, if you will, of the website, and go ahead and be able to utilize those resources that they need. So that idea doesn't get lost on paperwork and time and all the effort that it takes in order just to try to get there. So that if you have someone that's bright and has an idea, but isn't good at paperwork or pushing the political system to get the money, they actually can go ahead and use this open environment, which is available today and has been for several years, in order to bring it forward. Some of the various companies and things like that that have done this, Playfish, online social media game, Restaurant City, some of you may have heard of it, goes from launching thinking that they're going to have an expected amount of users in the 250,000, and obviously they were a little bit off on their projections. A normal business would have folded under this because the IT that they purchased after that year and a half would have disappeared and been succumbed to the amount of users that rushed the site. These Playfish actually utilized our platform in order to be able to meet that demand, and as the users went up, so did the scale and the ability to meet that demand. New York Times Time Machine, one of the things that they actually put into play is that they had 4 terabytes of TIFF images. They wanted to make those images searchable within the platform so that customers could actually go to their time machine and look things up. They initially went ahead and ran this on EC2 on our virtual machine platform, and one of the things that they found from that was that you can fail quickly in the cloud as well. And that is essentially that they ran the algorithm in order to make those conversions to PDF, but messed up in the programming. But guess what? Going from $240 to make that mistake, doubling the cost to a whole $500 and being able to do it in a 24-hour period allows you to innovate, because you can take the risk, because it's not a large risk. It isn't a year and a half of paperwork and OMB approval to do so. You can do so in a much more quicker timeline. Just real quick, other types of entities that are using this, Wall Street, various financial firms, being able to scale up and scale down so that overnight you can actually do processing, various types of risk management efforts and things like that. Being able to use that scale and do so. One last thing, just so you think this isn't something that only enterprise or social media environments use, the Federal Register today actually is running in the cloud. One of the things that's interesting about this is going from the old Federal Register website to the new version that was launched on their 75th anniversary. From the thought of the idea of doing so to the point where it was actually up and live goes from March of this year to July 26th of the year from the time that they went ahead and came up with the idea to the time that it was launched and running within the environment. So with that, I'm already a minute over time, and I'll leave you at that. If you're interested in more information about cloud environments and things like that, especially in the federal government, you're welcome to check our website at aws.amazon.com. We do have a federal event coming up that you could actually participate in and see some of the further details. Thank you.